Hey YouTube, welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, I wanted to cover some stuff that I wish I knew before I started playing the twins. This ranges from tips, knowledge, weird bugs, just ways that the power functions that are never written anywhere. So I really hope you learned something from this video. I also have timestamps on the video, so if you are looking for something specific, you'll be able to find that easily. Let me know what other kind of videos you would like from me, and with all that, I hope you enjoy the video. Some of you may know this, but when you switch to Victor from Charlotte, Charlotte actually gets collision. So you can body block survivors on loops so they're unable to use the pallet. This actually got nerfed quite a few years ago. After 30 seconds of being idle, Charlotte will lose her collision. So both the survivor and Victor can just phase through Charlotte. Victor always keeps his collision, however. If you're controlling Victor and Charlotte is underneath a pallet, if the survivor pulls down the pallet and stuns you, you'll actually be forced back to Charlotte. This is dangerous as survivors can use this as an opportunity to kick Victor. You may have noticed while playing as Victor, you'll chase a survivor up the stairs and suddenly their blood disappears. This is not a twins bug, this is just something really weird with Dead by Daylight coding. The really strange thing is it doesn't always happen. It seems to happen when you're far away from the survivor. As if you're close to them, the blood will still appear up the stairs. It's really easy to lose survivors if you don't know about this bug. Unfortunately, in most circumstances, you just have to guess which direction the survivor went. Perks such as Hexford Seal actually work on Victor. Dark Devotion also works on Victor. This is because he's considered a special attack, or these perks simply state when a survivor gets injured. It doesn't specify with an M1 attack. False Pen and False Hesitation also work with Victor, so these are really good options to run on the twins as you'll get maximum value from them. When Victor is attached to a survivor, you'll see a red bar on the bottom left. This takes 30 seconds to fill up. When it fully fills up, you can recall Victor, and you can see Victor's aura on this survivor. You can use this to your advantage to ambush the survivor or use it as tracking. Some areas are impossible for Victor to get around. So something you can do is jump on the window and jump down just before you die. When Victor is on a surface that is taller than himself, he will die after a couple of seconds. You will be able to hear how long you have until Victor will die. Take a listen. It's really important to know this timing as survivors can actually kick you when you're on surfaces like this. The way to counter it is to wait for the last second before jumping down. You can stand away from the survivor, but then you'll die by the timer. If you miss a pounce on Victor and there is a drop down next to you, you can use this to your advantage to avoid being kicked. You need to be careful when using this trick, however. If you drop down on the last second that you can be kicked, you will randomly die. It's been a thing since their release, so I don't think it's a bug. This also happens on stairs and elevated surfaces. Here's a perfect example for you. The best way to avoid this is to completely stop moving just as your attack cooldown is about to finish. If you're able to walk up and land on a surface higher than Victor, then you won't die from it. You can even switch and leave him there if you'd like. Victor will detect survivors that are moving. This effect also lingers if they stop moving. Victor won't detect people that are crouching or standing completely still. This effect also works while Victor is attached to a survivor, so it's a really good way to find out where the other survivors are. It's also very important to know that Victor can detect people in lockers, so you can use him to see if a survivor is in the locker. Victor gives an effect like Bloodwarden when he attaches to a healthy survivor. Even when you down this survivor, they can't leave through the exit gate for a few seconds. Victor's cooldown is 10 seconds, but when he's kicked, this becomes longer at 20 seconds. This also applies when the survivor is on a locker. So what you can do, if you attach Victor to a locker, he will hold the survivor in there for 10 seconds, but after 5 seconds, you can recall him. If you manage to recall him just before the survivor kills him, the cooldown will be 10 seconds instead of the longer 20 seconds. You can also use this trick when you see a survivor approaching Victor, and you either don't want to switch to him or you can't switch to him. You can recall him to stop them kicking him and avoid the longer cooldown this way. Pay attention to crows. Victor's only way to track survivors is audibly by their footsteps or by blood. If you see a crow fly off, then you know a survivor is hiding behind a rock. Alternatively, if you see a crow fly back, you could switch to Victor and see if the survivor is hiding nearby. Stairs are a big counter to Victor. If you try and hit the survivor from above or below, you will typically miss them. A really great way to avoid this is to hit the survivor on the side of the stairs instead. When Victor is attached to a survivor, it makes it a lot more difficult for them to unhook. You'll see in the clip here that the prompt switches between unhook and crush all the time. You can use this to your advantage as Charlotte by stopping the survivor unhooking, as you'll know they'll struggle when they get close. You cannot switch under a hooked survivor. You have to be 16 meters away before the option becomes available. This is also the case on exit gates and on the hatch. You even hear a sound when you're unable to switch. You can always look at the bottom of the screen to see when the option to switch is available. A trick you can do is leave Victor underneath the hook before you hook the survivor. You won't be able to switch to him when the survivor is hooked, but he will stay there and not die. He also gives absolutely no anti-camp if he's idle there or if you're controlling him, so it's a very good way to protect hooks. A really important thing to know is that Charlotte can give anti-camp. Sometimes you can release Victor even before the 16 meter radius. If you do switch the very moment that you can in the 16 meter restriction, you will still give a small amount of anti-camp. So it's smart to walk just a step further back than when you can normally switch. It's really good to be aware of this so you don't accidentally give the survivor anti-camp while you're controlling Victor. Perks such as Monstrous Shrine, Hex Devour Hope, and Make a Choice all work based off Charlotte's position. So as long as Charlotte is in the range required for those perks, even if you're controlling Victor, they will activate. Victor can hear loud noise notifications such as window vaults and unhooks, but he can actually hear this on some perks, such as Discordance. Unfortunately, Victor cannot see the auras of survivors or even the auras of totems, so perks like Nurse's Calling have no effect. Victor also can't see the outline when survivors scream, so perks like Hex Face the Darkness have no effect. He can hear when survivors scream, however. And that pretty much covers everything for now. I really hope you learned something from this video, and if there's anything I missed, please let me know in the comments down below. If you'd like to see other guides from me, I do have a playlist of some stuff I made years ago. If you did enjoy, please consider subscribing, it really helps me out. And as always, happy pouncing! Hopeless illusion.